Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I put out a video this morning saying that it's going to be the last video of 2021. Well, as everybody knows, I do videos about my life and what happens here in China. So this one here is going to be put out in 2021 too. We've got a lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown in Xi'an, where 13 million people have been locked down. It's the largest lockdown since Wuhan, and that's pretty serious stuff, guys. It's the 29th of December today, and yesterday they had 175 new cases. Okay, this is 810 cases since, I think, December 9th, when the first case was discovered at a hotel in Xi'an. All right, well, this is like the biggest outbreak that we've had in a single city since Wuhan. Everybody around the world knows that China has a zero case strategy dealing with COVID, and they're adamant about it. Before the Beijing Olympics that start, I think, February the 4th of 2022. So something like this happening in Xi'an, but you see, it's not just in Xi'an. Nanning, it's up in that area, also has a lockdown in place. In Guangxi Autonomous Region, where I am, they have a lockdown in Fenchangong. They also have, and that's a coastal city just south of us here. They also have a lockdown, Dongxing. It's the border city between Guangxi Autonomous Region and Vietnam. It's not just in one place. In Xi'an, they've shut down all the schools. They've shut down all the public venues. They've shut down all the transportation in the city, unless it's emergency transportation. They've shut down all of the taxis and buses and high-speed trains and everything coming into and leaving the city. Up until yesterday, you're allowed one person out of your house to go out every 2 days to get groceries for the rest of the family. Every 2 days. Oh, and I do some of my homework sometimes, guys, and I find this, like, I was reading some of the news from the Western mainstream media. Yes, those hacks, they every time they open their mouth, every time they write something, every time they do anything, you can just see through the lies. It's like, okay, they brought in the new rules yesterday that says nobody goes out, not even for groceries in Xi'an. 2 days ago, they were allowed to go out for groceries every 2 days. Now they've got mainstream media saying people in Xi'an are starving. Well, how can they starve if 2 days ago they were allowed to go out to get groceries for 2 days, every 2 days, for 2 days, and now, a day later, people are starving. You see, you can see when you get countries like the West, and they have basically given up on battling the COVID. You can see that in the numbers. 1.3 million, and this is between December 14th and December 27th, I think. So you're looking at a couple weeks. 1.3 million new cases in the UK. During the same time period, 2.7 million cases in the United States. In Canada, my home country, over 169,000 cases during that time period. In Australia, I think 89,000 cases during that same time period. And in Xi'an, they have 810 cases. And this is big news in the Western world. It is big news here too in China, because we have a zero case program here that we don't want one case, let alone 800 cases or 175 a day. Is disturbing, but, and I don't even want to think about the deaths in the Western world. As of Monday, they've moved 150 People's Liberation Army military personnel into Xi'an to assist in hospitals in the area. A lot of these personnel have had experience in dealing with COVID during the Wuhan crisis. So it's gotten to the point where they felt that it was serious enough to move military personnel into the area to assist with this. Very serious. The only things that are open at this point are grocery stores and hospitals, basically. And people that are working in the grocery stores are mandated to wear N95 masks and wear gloves. The entire city is being disinfected. Trucks are going around spraying disinfectant over the entire city. People that are, well, they're locked down in their homes. They're told to keep their windows shut. Don't touch anything outside because there's disinfectant. Don't touch the plants outside because there's disinfectant on it. It's to that point. So you've got military personnel, you get disinfectant all over the city. You've got people locked down 24/7. The only reason that they go out right now is if you have a medical emergency. That's basically it. Or if you're requested to go out for one of the mass testings for the COVID-19, there's no other reason that you can be out of your residence at this time. There's no going out to get groceries. Groceries are being brought to people. Tuesday, which is yesterday, 681 flights in and out of Xi'an were canceled. There are no domestic flights at Xi'an Airport at this point. Everything is basically shut down. So as China locks down cities, areas, towns, whatever it takes to keep the COVID-19 from spreading around the country, the rest of the world and the mainstream media point their finger at China and say, man, what an authoritarian government they have. How dare them lock people down? I bet you they wish that they would have locked people down in their own countries like they did in Wuhan and like they're doing here in Xi'an right now, just for the fact that look at the numbers that they're dealing with, look at the deaths that they're dealing with, look at the economic woes of these areas around the world because of this pandemic. If everybody in the world would just lock this puppy down, everything down for the next month, one full month, everybody in the world, this would all be over. But it's gotten out of hand when you get 2.7 million in a couple of weeks in the States. You get 1.3 million in the UK. You get, and I'll put these numbers up on the screen just for the fact that I get this off of the internet, the Google, it's not misinformation. It is the information that's put out there by the WHO. So there is no misinformation in this video. Hopefully it won't get banned, deleted, whatever. But you can see that when the Chinese people are taking it on the chin, locking down a city of 13 million people. Think about this, you Canadians out there. That would be like locking down British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and a couple of the provinces on the East Coast locked down. Nobody in, nobody out. You got to take food to each and every home in this area over the next 2 or 3 weeks, or else these people will starve to death. Think about that. You know what I mean? That's the scale that the Chinese are willing to go through, and the hardship that the Chinese are willing to go through, both the citizens and the governments of this country, to make sure that the citizens of this country are safe. Amazing, isn't it? Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. The last video of 2021. But as I've told you in the past, that if something happens in my little world, or the big world of China, I'll grab a camera and I'll let you know exactly what's going on. If I told you that the other one was the last video of 2021, well, I guess I didn't think that this Xi'an thing would get to the highest level of lockdown in China today. It's one of those things that I didn't expect it to go that far. So that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks on the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Man, we're still lucky here in Nanning. We do have extra security going into places like the subway. Not only do you have to show your QR code, now you've got to show your second QR code that shows where you've been over the last 14 days. Yes, sirree. Of course, you've got to wear a mask whenever you're in a public venue, and that means airports, that means shopping malls, that means subways, that means if you're on a bus, a plane, a train, any of these things, masks are mandatory. QR codes are mandatory. And God forbid you've been in a place like Xi'an over the last 2 weeks, because chances are you would be in quarantine in your city for the next 14 or 21 days. That's just the way it is. That's how China rolls during this time period. And I think it's a good thing. I think it keeps everybody safe, because as we've told you before, Wei Fong and I had the chance to go back to Canada or to China. When we were in Thailand, we picked China because we figured that China would be the safest place to be. Why did we think that? Because the government here takes care of business. They actually care about the citizens. They want to make sure that everybody is healthy, happy, safe, and content. And that garners trust. Canada, not so much.